My name's Jason, and welcome back to I Have a Story. I'm breaking free from my regularly broadcasted schedule here to bring you some more updates. Both good and bad. As always, there's never just good in my life. It just seems to be a rocky hill of up and down. So, I talked about my urology appointments and my problems with my bladder and things like that. Um, Bleeding internally. Having spent years and years and years and years and years and years of not getting tested, the urologist actually called me back and reviewed my case and said, yes, we need to see you right away. And they had me in 5 days. Pros and cons of that. I mean, yay, I'm moving. Progress of something's happening, I hope. I've already seen multiple urologists. You already read my notes. You already know that me coming to your office is not going to do anything. And this was an hour and a half away. And part of why I didn't get any videos out for a few days last week, because I was in so much pain from having to sit down and make that trip, that I could barely walk for days afterwards, and what it does to my bladder, my abdomen, and my whole, let alone what it does to my back. So, um, to me, I mean, again, I talk about how we waste so much money and it costs so much. There are so many things we could do to stop that. So simple. I mean, it doesn't even take half a brain to figure this one out. You reviewed my case. You realized that the severity of my injuries. You know that me coming to see you isn't going to do anything. I mean, there's nothing you can do, and literally there's nothing you do. Sat down in the office, looked at me and said, read your review, we need tests. No shit, Sherlock. And I hate to be like negative, but this is upsetting because we're so financially unstable in our country. So much stuff takes place that we can't afford, but yet we can afford how much money it costs to go see a specialist to sit down for 2 minutes and go, I reviewed your case, we need tests. Why did you schedule the test first and then let me come see you? That would save and open up so many doctor's appointments for other people if we changed the way this system is working. Common sense. Is that not just basic, simple common sense? So now I'm waiting for um, the referrals all to go through and get all the testing done that I need to get done. And I'll report back and we'll see how long that takes. But while I was all the way out where I was at and I just couldn't sit down any longer, I said, you know what, instead of trying to drive straight home and make it, I got to stop and take breaks and rest. And an hour and a half drive was just what Google says. For me, that's 2.5 to 3 hours because I got to stop and take breaks and go to the bathroom, maybe soil myself and clean myself up. I have to prepare for a whole lot. So it's not just as simple as even just driving an hour and a half away. So I decided while I was out there, hey, there's one of the advocacy groups that as part of the group here that I've been talking about and how they might be shutting down their doors because of my case, that all could have been stopped if people had done their jobs right, done their jobs period, and stopped it all from the beginning. So I said, you know what, one of my rest stops, I'm going to stop in there on my way home and take a break and walk around and talk to them, see how it's going down here. I didn't tell them that I was the reason. But what they did tell me was, in the past year, they've only had 2 clients. She told me from the next county over, not knowing that I was involved in the case the next county over, that exactly everything that I've already talked to you about, what took place there, and the woman who got fired, it's devastated her life. I mean, really, I feel, God, I want to tell so many stories, and I don't know always who I should share what about, but this is a woman whose life right now is very devastated, even a year later, after losing her job, and it's destroyed her relationship with her family, and it's really, really hurt her, really, just tremendously bad, and her life is really, I mean, honestly, it's hanging by a wire right now, literally, all because of this, and it breaks my freaking heart. People don't deserve this. So she told me in the past year they've only had 2 clients. She said they can't keep staff there because nobody wants to just sit in an office and do nothing all day. They don't have anything to do. What's the difference between an office and a jail cell when you don't have anything to do in an office? The only difference is drywall, the smell of the place, and you get to go home at the end of the day. Kind of like being in a prison, except for you get a few more benefits that the prisoner doesn't. So that's two now facilities out of the four that have nothing to show for. Absolutely nothing. For one office to say we have 0 clients, for another office to say we have 2 in the past year, all because people are afraid now to go there, which created more victims. But this will probably go down in the books and history as, look, we're cleaning up the streets. Nobody's coming in anymore. Everybody must be fine. Well, here's the real story behind it. Here's the Paul Harvey and the rest of the story. No, everybody's worse because those people who needed help are now scared even beyond going to seek help, which is already hard enough for so many people to even do. But now these people are scared. And then we've got the perpetrators out there who know all of this and use it against the whole people system, the whole deal. It creates more problems, victims, all of it. And I feel terrible that my particular case is the one that might be shutting down the whole entire system. The whole entire advocacy group may have to shut their doors because they have nothing to show for, at least now out of 50% of their offices, to even say that we have a reason to remain open and keep taking funding to maintain operations. That's wrong. And it's also going to be wrong if that's how it goes down in history is look, we cleaned up the streets, nobody's coming in anymore, so nobody needs help. Again, here's the rest of the story.